Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sam Peoples here, United People's TV, and it is the biggest and best day of the year. Yes, we're playing Sociedad at home, but no one really cares about that. You don't care because it's my birthday. Come on. Everyone getting involved in the comments. I see you in the chat. Big up to all of you. Let's talk about the game tonight. Let's talk about Sociedad a little bit later. We'll talk about the team news, Mason Mount being back in training. We'll speak about Aiden Heaven. We'll speak about Lenny Yoro, Ugarte. We'll speak about Amorim's comments on the players needing to prove Ratcliffe wrong. We'll speak about that. Also, this one's curious, all right? Because I wanted to discuss the sort of plans around Old Trafford after an article was released by The Telegraph and James Ducker from The Telegraph yesterday. But something interesting has happened, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Plus, run through the starting 11, predictions, and all that jazz. I can see lots of you in the chat. Thank you, everybody, man. It's nice. Birthdays are nice. How old am I now? I'm 36. It's great age. Great age. Great age. Great age. Gungshi, I can see down there, gifted 20 for my first 20 years, and that was a long-ass time ago. But good morning to the whole chat. Everybody, all the mods, all the members, I can see you all. Josh, you're there. Stephanie, you're there. Carl, you're there. Gungshi. We've got Royston. We've got C-Bomb. We've got Ricky, Abdul, Benz, Dylan, Miles, Mint, Rex. Lots of you tuning in. Thank you to everybody. Let's have a good show. Please do get involved in the chat. Yeah, 36. I got ID the other day. I did not get ID the other day. Who am I kidding? I didn't. Anyway, let's run through the show. Let me know what you think throughout, and I'll try and involve as many of you as I possibly can. Kenny saying, how do you forget your own age? Old age. Although I'm not old age yet. 36. I'm sweet for at least another 3 or 4 years. And then you start getting questions about, when does middle age, that's what I'll ask you now. When does middle age start? There's a big debate. So I'm saying it's 40. Once you get to 40, you're kind of reaching the crest. And everything else is on the other. Doesn't mean it can't be good on the other side of the hill, but it's on the other side of the hill. Rex gifted 10 memberships this morning. Akash saying no signs of grays. Good lighting. All right. Good lighting. That's what I would say. All right. You're all saying 45, 40, 65, 60. Middle age starts at 37. Rex. Someone banned Rex down there in the comments. Does not start at 36. All right. I would disagree with that one. All right. Who cares? Starts whenever you want it to. Right, let's run through the show. The footy that happened last night, Bruges got absolutely whooped by Villa. I mean, it was a red card. Early, 3-0 win. You know what bored me? Seeing how many people were talking about this game this morning. Like, I'm sitting here watching. Am I really going to have this much of a conversation about whether a player kicked a ball twice? Atletico Madrid must be pissed. Atletico Madrid fans must be fuming at what they saw last night. You watched that penalty back about 20 times and you're like, did he kick it there? Did he kick it there? You have to like get your microscope out and see whether or not he kicked that ball. It's just like, I'd be fuming. Oh, Akash, wow. Jeez. Akash gifted 50. Come on, everybody. Should be my birthday every day. Now, boring it would be. Would you reckon it would be worse for it to be your birthday every day or Christmas every day? I think it would probably be worse if it was Christmas every day. Man, that would drive you insane. But Akash, you're a legend. All of you are legends in this community. And fingers crossed tonight they deliver, because I tell you what, pretty much our season is over if we lose tonight. It's the 13th of March and our season would be over, done. You'd be like, yeah, sure, you're still in the Premier League. You still have, what? How many games you got left now? 10, 11 games? Something like that. And yeah, I agree with you, by the way, and that's why I'm kind of just like, football has become a sort of a theatre of micro-analysis where tiny decisions are scrutinized to the nth degree. And it's almost like over-analysis. And it's just, it is a bit boring. It kind of takes away from the football itself. Big Mavinsky, you're not the Big Lebowski, Great film, by the way. Go and watch it if you haven't already seen it. Big Mavinsky's gifting 10 memberships as well. It's an absolute party down here this morning, man. As it should be. It's my birthday. Jack, thank you very much for the comment too. Happy birthday to me. Now, the video I did yesterday before we then dive into the actual news part of today's show. I felt this video was important to do right now. I could have done it a long time ago. I'll be totally honest. This has been sort of an ongoing thing for a while, but I don't know why it feels like it's more prevalent this year. I can only speak for myself here. Why it feels more prominent, not prevalent. And it was just a conversation around United's legends, and we're talking legends. We're talking Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Wayne Rooney, Paul Scholes, and their place in punditry, and how almost like they are the leading pundits when it comes to the criticism of Manchester United players. And it's the sort of thing that you would expect from, I don't know, Liverpool players. But like probably a part of this which we could or should have included was the contrast with, have you seen the video of Schmeichel speaking to Højlund outside the stadium? Just sort of, you can tell that Højlund's down. Of course he hasn't scored in like, what, 20 games? But Schmeichel's just like putting his hand around him and just speaking into his ear, like maybe just giving him some advice. And it just feels like United's former players and their positions as pundits now, instead of saying things or doing things that are sort of constructive in terms of their criticism, it's the opposite. That's what it feels like to me, and that's what that video was about. The positions of United legends and whether or not they actually help or hinder the players going forward. Can I just say, the chat, all of you, man, so many people saying happy birthday. It is cool. It really is. And Jonas, it wasn't a video that was intended to sit here and point fingers and call out Keane. I mean, I criticise players, right? We all do. But their influence as United greats and United legends, it means that those words carry a lot more power. And they cut through the noise. And maybe they don't really realise how influential their voices are in terms of Manchester United. I don't quite know. But that's what the video was about. If you haven't watched it, go on to United People's TV on YouTube, where you are right now. And it's the video that was out yesterday. And also there's a friendly? There's a playlist, which is friendly, which has all the United People's Productions videos in. And next week will be a cracking one. Now let's move on to happy 18th, Sam. Yes, that's it. Now we're talking. Now these are the sorts of things. The chat's awesome, man. That's put a big old smile on my face. It has been a struggle doing this for a while in terms of turning up every day, in terms of the position of United and where we've been and just the feeling around the club and the arguments and the negativity. It's all consuming, and it really is consuming. The amount that I commit to United People's TV of myself, really, professionally and personally. It is professional, but because when you commit to something in life and you really commit, you get more out of it, but you have to put more into it. And I don't regret doing it, but it's been tough for a while. So thank you all for sort of sticking with me and being involved. And at some point, and I've said this a few times now. Tyler, thanks for gifting a membership, dude. I see you down there, and Paddy as well. At some point, it really will start to turn. And we've seen flashpoints, and I'm more confident, which, again, it's going to sound a very strange thing to say. And this is down to Ruben Amorim, basically. I'm more confident about the direction that the club is heading in terms of the vision. But the present is pretty awful. Let's be totally honest. And then we dive into this. And this is today's first big talking point. Now, what I want to do is run through the actual clip of what Ratcliffe said about the players before we run into the reaction from Ruben Amorim yesterday. Because I think this has kind of been taken out of context, or, yeah, just pretty much taken out of context. This is what Ratcliffe said about the players, right, when he was asked by Dan Roan in an interview with BBC.
Just going back to something you said a little earlier, Jim, if I may. You mentioned some of the players that I think Ineos have inherited effectively, the likes of Anthony and Højlund, Onana, Casemiro. Are you saying that those players aren't good enough for United?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that we've...
Or overpaid, or what are you getting at there?
Well, some are not good enough, some probably are overpaid, but for us to to mould the squad that we're fully responsible for and accountable for will take time. So we
Right. And when it comes to naming the individuals, something that Jim Ratcliffe did, he spoke about Casemiro, he spoke about Antony, Sancho, Højlund, Onana, and there might have been a couple more. But the reason he named those players, name-checked them, was because he was saying that United was still paying for them. Sancho this summer, we've now found out, we have to pay £17 million to Dortmund this summer for Jadon Sancho. So as far as like balancing the books of this year go, if we get a 25 mil obligation for Sancho from Chelsea, we're only going to get 8 million of that because we have to give 17 million of it to Dortmund because we're still paying for the player. And that's why he name-checked players, right? So people have sort of been jumping on the fact that Jim Ratcliffe is throwing players under the bus as an owner. He shouldn't be doing that. He's naming players who aren't good enough for United. Well, so many of them aren't. And Akash is saying, why is Jim Ratcliffe coming out and saying what we already know? That's effectively as far as it went. Some people tried to take it further and to say that Ratcliffe was calling out Casemiro as not good enough and Onana and Højlund and what's that going to do for Amorim this season? You're undermining. You've got your owner saying players aren't good enough. No, you just said overall, some of the players aren't good enough. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's something that Amorim agrees with. And this was Amorim's response to it. Right? He said, I think if we're being honest, in this moment, everybody, me and all the players, are underperforming. So we can always change that, and I include myself in that part of underperforming. You are talking about players like Casemiro, for example, that won everything, and we know that these kind of players can play so much better. So that is the focus. Ratcliffe was honest in that, and the focus is to change his mind and to change all the people's minds. And it's almost like these two things combined, right? There can be a United player that's offended by that. Perfectly fine. But there is not one United player that can say that Jim Ratcliffe is lying. No. He's telling an uncomfortable truth, which is aptly what I named the video of that yesterday. Anyway. But it's an uncomfortable truth. Like some players might be like, oh, I can't believe he's doing that in public. But it's completely true. And it's effectively what Amorim is doing here is throwing the gauntlet back to the players. Like, if you are genuinely, and there might be some players that are, but if you are offended by what Ratcliffe has said there about the fact that some of you are not good enough, some of you are overpaid, just go and make him look like an idiot on the pitch. Because if you do that, you win the argument. So it's all about pride, really, self-pride. If those players really are genuinely upset that Ratcliffe said that, okay, prove it on the pitch. Just prove it on the pitch, man. Problem is, these players have not proved much on the pitch, and there weren't players name-checked, right? And I can't guarantee that any of those players have got a future at Manchester United. Onana, who I thought was going to be that transformative, ball-playing, confident goalkeeper at the back that would just make us a totally different proposition when it comes to playing out from the back with the ball, we've not seen that. So I can't guarantee that Onana's going to be here in a couple of years. Højlund hasn't scored a goal since the 12th of December or something like that. And this is his second season. Well, he can't guarantee that he's going to be here either. Casemiro won't be here. Antony won't be here. And Sancho won't be here. And there's so many other players. Eugene, that's what it is, man. The truth hurts. And I don't see anything wrong with Ratcliffe explaining the finances of... Look, this is kind of part and parcel of modern finances. Of modern transfers. I don't know if... Look, I've got no visibility as to whether or not this happened back in the day. Like 10 years ago, when you signed a player, did you pay more up front and less over a 3, 4, 5 year period, sort of the player amortization? Is that part of modern transfers? I don't really know. But it is a big part of modern transfers. Loads of clubs do it. Hardly any club will go and buy a player, say for 50 million, and pay 50 million up front for that player. It's just not how modern transfers work. I just don't know whether it's something that always existed in transfers. Let me read some of your comments out here. Mr. Smith, saying we're 14th in the league. We're either massively underperforming or the players we have aren't good enough to be where the club believes it should be operating. I think I partly think it's a bit of both. Like, I don't think Højlund is as bad a player as we have seen this season. I still don't think Onana's as bad a player as we're seeing this season. The problem is I don't know where or how you're going to get that version out of them. Yes, Miles, you said down there as well, Akash as well. We just over 490k, so we are now on the road to 500. Finally, the countdown properly begins. I've never done a road to anything on this channel before. I've always found them a bit gimmicky. But 500, that's awesome. Awesome. So I need to figure out, I've been saying this for a while, I need to get the time aside to upgrade the software. I want to get like a rolling counter that goes over and we can do giveaways along the way, like a big raffle. I want to do like a big PS5 raffle, stuff like that. Yeah, Mike, it feels like amortization is kind of a consequence of FFP, but I don't really know. Either way, Ruben's right. Ruben is right. Prove him wrong. All you got to do is prove him wrong. And tonight is where you have to start that, because tonight is... If we lose tonight, the season is done. It is. Win tonight, then we've got the international break, and we come back and we're going to have the quarterfinals against... Is it Lyon? Let's have a look. I think Lyon won their first game away. Europa League brackets. I think they won their first game away from home right at the end, didn't they? Yeah, right. So this is where we're at. So obviously we drew 1-0 in the first leg. Second leg is tonight. Lyon beat Steaua Bucharest 3-1 in the first leg, and the second leg, if I remember correctly, is at Lyon. So you would expect Lyon to go through. Does that mean another trip to Lyon? Man, fun fact. When I went to see United against Saint Etienne, Lyon was always one of my favourite European aways. Alex, I know you're not watching, but just loved it. We found this amazing little bar right on the river. We were sitting there all day. It was fantastic. But St. Etienne was awful. And then we came back to Lyon after because it was a Thursday night because, well, it was Europa League at that point. Ended up getting pepper sprayed. Not me directly, but we were trying to get in somewhere and somebody just poked a little thing of pepper spray out the door. And shh. Fun fact, true story. So Lyon, it's looking like Lyon. We'll figure that out though. But anyway, let's get past Sociedad first before we start speaking about Lyon, Sam. Let's not tempt fate. Callum, nice to see you there joining us as a member, man. But what we're saying down here. Jimmy's only saying what fans have vocalised regarding the players. I think largely that's very, very true. Rangers in the semi. Oh my God, Kieran, I'm not sure I could handle that. And also, Rangers getting past Bilbao or Roma? I mean, good luck. If Rangers, look, they won 3-1 in the first leg and now it's back at Ibrox, so you would actually expect Rangers to get through to the quarterfinals. But Athletic Club or Roma, I would expect both of those to beat Rangers. But if we play Rangers at Ibrox in a semi-final of a European Cup, could you imagine? Not the European Cup, but a European trophy. The atmosphere would be nuts. Nuts. I've never seen. When was it that we played? Didn't Rudy score a penalty? What year was that? I'm going to guess like 2000 and... I think it was it was when Valencia broke his leg. Was it when Valencia broke his leg? Did we play them twice in that group stage? Man United, Rangers. That was in the Champions League. Is that 2011? People, come on. I'm just celebrating this. Oh, 2010. It's unbelievable, Jeff. Because it was literally a 1-0 win. Rooney scoring the penalty. 2000. Oh, damn it, I shouldn't have celebrated. Oh, idiot. Anyway, let's see. But playing Rangers would be mad. But it would be mad. Right. Conversation talking point. Let's move on. And speaking about the stadium. Now, this one is only going to be a brief little convo because this one's a bit strange, right? Pyro, big up to you for gifting 5 memberships. Right? We know full well that the financing of the new stadium is going to be the biggest and most important conversation for fans. This came from the Telegraph yesterday that Ratcliffe and Barada, they're going to be in Cannes on Wednesday for an international estate and trade show festival. And they're already going out and they're already having conversations about who wants to be involved in this project. And there are going to be untold amounts of people that are interested in this. I don't know how they'd split down the investment. I imagine they would probably rather just go for one big outside investor rather than loads of micro ones. I don't know, right? We'll see. But a big part of the conversation is around this. Akash, you're saying the Eiffel Tower line made my blood boil. It's not about... It's about this is the whole concept of it. It's about effectively making a mini city. And the heart and the hub and the nucleus of that mini city is the new stadium. As well as everything that is going to surround it. Well, if you're going to create, 92,000 jobs, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Brian saying let's ask investors to buy the debt off. Yeah, good luck with getting someone to do that. But this is why it's curious, right? This was the article that I was going to run through this morning, but I think something's happened. So this was published by James Ducker in the Telegraph yesterday. You can see when it was published, right? 12:30 yesterday. I opened it and kept it open for the live show today. And this was the link for the original post on Twitter from James Ducker, talking about the plans and the timelines around the demolition of Old Trafford. Right, and here's the link. And if I was to click that link now, it takes me through to a completely different article about Ruben Amorim. And if you go down here, you can see this is now James Ducker later in the day saying about the underperforming players, which we've just discussed. But look, it still has the same caption and photo as the article, which has since been deleted by the Telegraph. You go down here. That's the Eiffel Tower one I was just going to have a conversation about. But this article now, here, has been completely taken down. So that probably tells me that I think the club got in contact. I imagine anyway, this is just sort of my perception of what happened. I imagine the club got in contact and requested that it was taken down. Maybe some of the information wasn't completely solid in it. So I was going to have a conversation about it, but then I figured this out about 10 minutes before we went live. So we know full well that if you look at the maps and you look at the plans, there is no Old Trafford here. Old Trafford would be around about where these buildings exist. But the concept, of course, is that the new stadium will be built and then Old Trafford would be taken down. I hate the word demolished. But anyway, I don't think there's much point us actually running through that article considering it's been completely deleted. I don't know about that one. Odd. Very, very odd. Right. So now we move forward to the main part of today's conversation. Thanks to everybody who's still saying happy birthday. Put a big old smile on my face. Robin saying inevitable, it's going to be the Ineos Stadium. I don't know where it is. In fact, let me find this. Damn, I forgot about that. Why is that not working now? Oh, for goodness sake. Never mind. Anyway, I saw a suggestion from somebody who works in finance at the BBC that Manchester United would be commanding somewhere in the region of 50 to 60 million for the naming rights for Manchester United's new stadium, which is exactly what I said should be happening if you looked at the SoFi deal, which is around about 30 million. I said that, well, United should be getting double that. And that's what the suggestion is. Yeah, interesting. Right, let's move on to talk about the game tonight. Right, let me get the star poll predictions, right? What's your prediction for this evening? United go through or Sociedad go through? Because obviously there's different methods of going through. Pens, extra time, all that jazz. United win. Do you think United will go through? Do you think the Sociedad will go through? Let's run through the team news. As predicted, I don't think there's any surprises here. Yoro and Maguire are both ruled out. Maguire's being sort of kept back as a precaution. Yoro was taken off at half-time against Arsenal, and there's no way that United are ever going to rush Yoro back, especially in the 2 games before the international break. So Yoro's going to be out and Maguire's out. That gives an opportunity, right? That gives an opportunity to Aiden Heaven. Whether or not Aiden Heaven is given that chance, we'll find out. But someone else who is back in training, that's Mason Mount. Do you know how long Mason Mount was out for? 12 weeks. And this isn't the first injury that he's had this season. It's just the latest injury that he's had this season. I think it's fair to say that no one's looking at Mason Mount and going, oh, great, well, our number 10 problems are solved. Great. Everyone's looking at Mason Mount and going, let's see. Let's see what you've got in a United shirt properly. I'm not talking about coming in and having a good game here and having flashes there. I'm talking about show us for the remainder of this season, game after game, consistency, building fitness and building performances, right? Eric saying Mount had injury concerns and we bought him. Mount had absolutely none of the injury concerns that he's had anywhere near the level of Manchester United. I don't know what has happened to him since he's come to United, but it's not a case of going Captain Hindsight. Wow, he had so many. He had like a regular professional football player's level of injuries before he came to United, and it's just turned into an absolute horror show. It is the rarely spotted Mount. No one has any idea who he is. And yeah, Mount, just like Casemiro, just like Onana, just like Shaw, just like Eriksen, Højlund, and whoever else you want to add into it. All right? Mason Mount's got to play for his United career. Every player does, between now and the end of the season, but Mount specifically because he hasn't played at all. Amorim would love a fully fit Mason Mount. A fully fit Mason Mount would have fit into United's systems ever since we signed him. He's just never bloody fit. That's the annoying part. Mount will certainly pick up an injury, says Peter. Well, let's be honest. It's kind of easy to be cynical about Mason Mount, about Luke Shaw as well. And you kind of have to be because invariably you're proven right most of the time. Ed saying, watching from Boston, waking up early in the morning. Big up to you, dude. That is some commitment. All around the world, the Reds. And as a 10, I'm going to give you a 3 out of 10 on that dad joke. Couldn't mount a bike without breaking these days. Boo. Boo. You're allowed to boo with bad jokes. Booing in football games, though, I've always found it weird. You know, feel a sneeze coming. No, it's gone. Dennis, thank you very much saying happy birthday. But anyway, Mason Mount's back in training. Ugarte's back in training. And I would get Ugarte straight in that starting 11. Right? Ugarte and Bruno is the best we have until the summer. That's just what it is. Callum, you're saying you're taking your girlfriend to her first United match tonight. All her family from are Liverpool fans, so got to convert her. It's literally your duty, Callum. Right? It's like having a kid. And if that kid doesn't grow up to be a United fan, you failed. So it's your job now to try and convince. A bit harder when you're convincing a girlfriend and the whole family's Liverpool fans. And the first time I took my girlfriend to a United game, I actually threw her right in the deep end, to be fair. And she landed. She coped well. But I took her to the United-Liverpool game under Eric Ten Hag, where we'd lost against Brighton and Brentford. And then we played Liverpool, and there was a protest, 10,000 people protests set up by the 1958. And that was before the game. So she had and then we went into TRA as well. And then we won. So it was a good introduction. It was a good introduction. But anyway, Ugarte, get straight in that starting 11. Ugarte and Bruno just, for its flaws, and it is flawed, it's not perfect, it's the best midfield setup that we have. And I think Casemiro has actually been playing quite well. So I wouldn't mind seeing him come off the bench. That's Mason Mount again. Why is it showing a picture of Mason Mount again? That's not who it is. That just crashed. Oh, no. It's Hull going wrong. One sec. One second there. Yeah, we're back in the game. Sorry for the technical interlude. That's Aiden Heaven. That's who I wanted to talk about. I've got him in my starting 11. I want to see him play on the left side of centre-back rather than Victor Lindelof. Easy when you say it like that. Interestingly enough, you've got Tyler Fredrickson and James Scanlon, who have both been introduced to the Real Sociedad squad. Mr. Moon, are you saying that Twitter's crashed again? Yeah, it did crash for me. I just tried to load it and it didn't work. Yeah, Mount's infected my computer. Anyway, Tyler Fredrickson is a centre-back, so that's probably because you've got Yoro out, you've got Maguire out, space in the squad, but up you come. But James Scanlon is an interesting one. If you're looking at somebody who can play one of the inside forward roles and actually give United maybe an option from the bench, I'm genuinely looking at James Scanlon. He's been banging goals in all season long, really, for the under-21s. I wouldn't mind seeing him come off the bench, because who else have we got there tonight? If Ruben Amorim starts with Xerxes, Højlund and Garnacho, right, I'll run through what my starting 11 prediction is. But if he starts with these three, then who have you got down there on the bench? Like, I already had Scanlon down there anyway. But you're not going to bring Eriksen. I mean, you could bring Eriksen on as one of those forwards, but there's no pace or movement whatsoever there at all. And I think that's just what the idea of Scanlon being on the bench will give you. Cheeto won't be on the bench tonight because Cheeto isn't eligible for the Europa squad. As I said, I think it's an oversight from the club. But it's happened, and there's nothing that can be done about it. Cheeto wasn't added. It was Jack Fletcher who was added as the third player. It was the A-list, B-list after January transfer window. You're allowed to add 3 more before the knockout, and the 3 were Aiden Heaven, Patrick Dorgu, and the third was Jack Fletcher, ahead of Chido Obi, which I think was an oversight, but it's done. So that's my starting 11 there tonight. I've gone for what changes would you want to do to this team? I've gone for Heaven as the left centre-back, Delict into the middle, Mazraoui dropping into the right centre-back position, Delo going to his natural right wing-back position. Dorgu on the left, Bruno and Casemiro in the middle, and then the front 3 of Xerxes, Højlund, and Garnacho. I say this every game now, but Højlund, man, like just do it, just find it. Anyway, any which way. Any which way. Yeah, and you could see that because we saw it in the last game against Arsenal. It worked in the second half. You could see Højlund come on the bench. You could see Xerxes play as more the false 9. You could see Eriksen come in. I think that's possible. I don't think that Ugarte's still out. I think we'll see Ugarte start there tonight, but maybe, I don't know. I don't think any United fan should be done with Højlund until the season is out. And given that we can't choose Cheeto, if sort of evening you're saying that the team picks itself, to a certain degree, parts of it do. But you could start Lindelof if you want. By the way, where has Evans been? Has Evans been injured this whole time? I can't even remember the last time that Johnny Evans' name was mentioned. Oh yeah, I don't know why. Why is Ugarte not there? My bad. I think I must have just predicted that just in case Ugarte wasn't fit. Collier could come in there. It seems like right now Amorim's preferring a little bit more experience than energy, and when it comes to his midfield choices. I'm having a look at I tell you what, I wish United players played with as much confidence as these polls are. We've got 93% of you saying that United are going to go through. 7% are saying Sociedad. 93%. I hope you're right, by the way. I hope you're right. Chris, you're saying Jack Fletcher is definitely worthy of 15 to 20 minutes at the end. I don't think if you're going to get a midfielder who's going to get 15, 20 minutes at the end of this game, say you start with Bruno and Ugarte, it's going to be Collier or Casemiro, unless there's Don't really see that. But how there's any way into this start? Not even from the sub perspective. For Jack Fletcher, because you've got Collier and Casemiro, you've got options on the bench. But Scanlon, I'm glad that Scanlon's going to be in the squad. I'm not saying that Scanlon's going to make a difference, but if touchwood, if we need some form of pace and attacking threat from the bench, without Scanlon there, I don't know who you put on. That's why Amorim even put Toby Collier in one of the number 10 positions. Ibuka, yes, fair point. Talking about Zubimendi being back, the expectation is that he will be back. And like, if you look at the game last week, right, United, let's pull that up. The first shot on target for them was that ridiculous penalty. They offered no threat at all. Anytime they came towards our box, we were very good at defending the box. And that's something that we've been, we might not like it. But right now, United are actually quite good. Not perfect, but not in any way, shape or form. But we're actually quite good at doing a bit of box defending, at sitting into a deeper shape and actually closing the spaces out and squeezing the opposition out that way. I don't think that's how United are going to approach this game tonight. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see us getting a first half goal, because Old Trafford, it strikes me that Old Trafford's going to be loud tonight. I think with the news of the stadium, I think there'll be, it won't be a rejuvenation, but I think there'll be an extra bit of energy inside the stadium there tonight. And everybody knows that this is our last game of the season if we don't win. Not literally, but realistically, in terms of getting G'd up for the games, lose tonight, and it's lose tonight, and the reality of how bad this season is sets in on the 13th of March. Win tonight, and we at least delay that conversation. Let me go down there and see what you're saying in the comments. Josh, you're going to the game tonight. Enjoy it, my man. Chris, thank you very much, dude. Oh, super chat. Have a drink on me. Not on a Thursday, mate. We're going to the gym. We're working. Sucks having midweek birthdays, isn't it? I'd love to see a 7-1 Roma performance. Yeah. You're not the only one. I don't think we're going to see that. I'll be totally honest. As much as I can be optimistic about the game tonight, I'm not expecting it to be a 7-1. Guinness tonight. I don't really care for Guinness. Shoot me. Don't really care for Guinness. I don't really care for bitters. I like a good lager. But then there's only so much lager you can have before you got to switch. Can't drink lager all night. Anybody who does a sesh on Guinness, I don't know how they do it. But look, last minute or two of the show, fire in any questions you want. But yeah, the gauntlet has been thrown down to the players, man. Like, if you're that pissed off about an owner of a football club saying that you're overpaid or not good enough, you can easily just make him eat his words by being good enough, by smashing Sociedad. Do that, and then the conversation moves forward. Do like a good IPA. Legends are indeed born in March. Right? Legends are indeed born in March. So I'm looking forward to tonight. But I'm nervous. Famous last words, of course. I'm not nervous because we're playing Real Sociedad. I'm nervous because we're Manchester United right now. I'm nervous because I know what this team does at Old Trafford. This team is nervous playing at Old Trafford. I think largely it was a pretty good result last time at Sociedad, but it was very frustrating because we know that we should have scored more. We know that we should have won that game. And I think the same can be said about Arsenal. 2 games, both the same result, 1-1. 2 games where we should have won both, and we won neither. So we know what the issue is tonight. Scoring bloody goals. You know what I'd like to see us do more tonight? Shoot a bit more. And specifically Rasmus Højlund. Just shoot. If you get a half chance, just put your foot through it. Just try and get that shot on target. Don't wait for the perfect chance to create itself. Just shoot. Remember that old Solskjaer video of him training Mulder, and he's just talking about the plays. He's like, no, sod that. Just shoot. Just shoot. Shoot. That's what I would love to see from Rasmus Højlund tonight, because you just think right now he's definitely overthinking. And when strikers do that and you remove the instinct, it's not a problem. It's not a good thing. SAS ways. Well, shoot. Maybe apart from Garnacho. Yeah, Garnacho, again, if you look at Sociedad, the bit that made the difference was him on the right-hand side, looking up, squaring it to Xerxes. Look, let's find out. I'm looking forward to the game tonight. Can I just say a big thank you to everyone who tuned in today, and to Akash for gifting 50, man. You're absolute legend. Lots of you got involved. Rex, Gungshi, we've got Big Mavinsky, we've got Patty, Tyler, Chris, Tony, you gifted 5. I missed that as well. Sorry, man. Lots of you just being generous to the community. We've hit 490k now as a community. And as I say, you keep enabling me and the team to make videos like this. And we've got an absolute cracker that we're working on now that's going to be coming out next Wednesday. And that is going to be on the new stadium. That's going to be a big one. So thank you all for tuning in. Look at that 41-minute show. This must be the shortest show that we've done in a long time. It's my birthday, though. Sue me. All right. I'll be here after the game. I don't think there's any time, really. I was going to do a video on Old Trafford and sort of plans for it, but the Telegraph have taken the article down now, so I don't really think there's a point. The UPTV pub. That live show is going to be happening at some point. I promise you. Take it easy, everyone. Have a cracking day, and I'll see you after the game tonight.